Hi guys, I'm back. Hi. So we've got Jane and Teresa and Linda. How we going, guys? So I've been out for a few hours, and I'm back. I'm back with a vengeance. Right, let me throw my tea bag away. I'm gonna chuck my tea bag out the window because my wife will tell me off if I put it on the countertop. So the window it's going to be. The time is 4:52. It's a very mild day today, very mild. So I've been for about 3-mile walk. And even though it's cloudy and overcast, it's beautiful and nice and warm. The very lovely breeze on your skin. That's really nice, relaxing. So I spent all of my walk. I took the dogs with me. I spent all my walk just watching lots of videos, getting some ideas. All right, my wife just messaged me. They're still at the park. We've got two things to come back to. We've got the Scientology, the second half. Right, let me just chuck this tea bag out the window. Don't tell my wife. This is going out the window. Look, it's going to go in the grass. It will turn into some kind of mud that the plants grow in. Okay, right. So let me just tell my wife. Right, okay, so we're here. So I've got myself a coffee and a tea. Hi, Linda. So the two topics we were doing was the Scientology, the second half of the write-up we found, and the takeover of Elvis Presley Enterprises with, I think it was Bill or Bob Silliman. Was it Bill or Bob? It was Bob Silliman. And then we had worked out that Priscilla was given $6.5 million in that deal with Bob Silliman. Is it CK something? CKX Enterprises that bought Elvis Presley Enterprises for $112 million. I think $50 million went to Lisa. I think there was a $25 million debt that needed to be paid. I have a feeling that Lisa Marie had a tax bill as well. But the bit we worked out was two things I thought that stood out to me. The backhander, I call it a backhander in my opinion, that was given to 6.5 million so that Bob Silliman could use the Presley name. So she sold the Presley name. And the other thing that they had leased Graceland. So I was going to ask Amy. Let me ask Amy. Let's see if she was Graceland leased to Bill Silliman for 90 years. Because that's the bit it was the new bit of information for 90 years. The home, not EPE. Okay, because I've read somewhere that Elvis Presley Enterprises control Graceland, even though Graceland is owned by Riley Q and Fillion Harper eventually. The control is Elvis Presley Enterprises. So when I read that when Bill Silliman did his deal, Bob Silliman, Bill Silliman, I get confused, that he had leased Gracelands for 90 years. That got me thinking, so maybe the ownership of Graceland still is retained by Riley Q and eventually on behalf of the twins, Finley Harper. But it was leased to Elvis Presley Enterprises, 85% of it. Now, does that mean that Elvis Presley Enterprises also pay a rent? Yeah, Bob, that's it. Does that mean that Elvis Presley Enterprises pay a rent to rent Graceland? So they run Graceland, but the ownership is retained by Riley Keough, and the obviously the museum and the surrounding land is leased to Elvis Presley Enterprises, but still owned by Riley Keough. Now that's a big question I've got. That is a big question I've got, because I've always assumed that Graceland was fully still owned by Riley Keough, and the land around it and the museum. And then Elvis Presley Enterprises has 85% ownership of all of the rest, everything else. The hotel, everything in front of Graceland, obviously the massive expansion. This is a question I've got. Any of you know? So this is a complicated, so many different stories on Google. I've just been reading it. My brain is frazzled. I've never read it before, Linda. I've never read it that the lease of Graceland was included in the sale of Elvis Presley Enterprises. So let's just look into it, right? I just want to ask a couple of questions. Oh, actually, I just thought I better just message a few people that were live. Sorry, because I forgot. I'll just quickly do it now. Anyone that I've forgotten to message, I'm really sorry. Right, let's have a look. Let's do it now. Right, we're live. So it just got me thinking. Let's quickly message everyone. I know Stacey doesn't like it if I don't message her. Sorry, Stacey. Deborah, are you on? Let's make sure we're getting everyone. I did put it on Facebook, on our Facebook channel. I definitely did do that. Okay. And you do get notified, guys. You do get notified. Lorraine's going to be fast asleep. Lorraine, you're fast asleep. You need to go to work. Let's have a look. So many of you to message. Please, we are live. Let's have a look. Who are we missing? Are any of you not being notified? Melissa's probably asleep. Did I wake you up, Melissa? Don't forget Sue. There's actually a few Janes. Derby Shaw. Let's have a look. Colleen. Right. Okay. We've got Maria, who has a son that is an Elvis singer. Let's have a look. And he's brilliant. Let's even tell Bob Joyce. Come on. Bob Joyce sent me a prayer. Did you know Bob Joyce sent me a prayer? Shall I say the prayer to you again? As I prayed this night, I bless you in the name of the Lord. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and shine upon you and be gracious to you. I declare that no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. May the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, guard your heart and mind in Christ Jesus. Amen. Bob Joyce sent me that. Bob Joyce, guys, look. I don't know if it's not very clear. And if you go onto his profile, it's him. Bob Joyce messaged me. Unbelievable. Fair play. Right. And he has got 10,000 followers. So I think it's him. So Bob Joyce, thank you. Let's get back to what I was saying. So we're looking at EPE. Actually, no, what I'll do, I'll go back to the write-up and we'll find that thing that said it was leased. No, before that, we'll look at when Elvis Presley Enterprises was sold, what was included? Right, when EPE was sold, what was included? Let's see what comes up. What was included? Because there's so many things in there. Let's see if it says it here. So Elvis Presley Enterprises is a corporate entity created by Elvis Presley Trust to conduct business and manage its assets, including Graceland. See? Including Graceland. I'll show you. Including Graceland. It's a bit blurry. Elvis Presley Enterprises business extends far beyond the Graceland operation and includes worldwide licensing of Elvis-related products and ventures, the development of Elvis-related music, film, video, television, and stage productions, the ongoing development of Elvis Presley Enterprises' internet presence, and the management of significant music publishing assets. So, I now believe, please prove me wrong if I'm wrong, that we all think that Elvis Presley Enterprises do not own Graceland, because we all have been told that Ryder Q still retains ownership of Graceland, Elvis's home, her home. And I know she does. But what we haven't really been told is that it's leased to Elvis Presley Enterprises. So I would say that means that it's rented to Elvis Presley Enterprises. Now, am I wrong, guys? Please, seriously, has anyone looked into this? So Lisa Marie Estate retains sole ownership of the mansion itself, as well as her father's personal effects. No, Cheryl. I differ. It's not straightforward. I totally agree that they are the landlords. They own the building. They own, like you just said, the personal effects, the land. But I think it's leased. It even says here, to conduct business and manage its assets, including Graceland. So yes, Cheryl, yes, they own the freehold. In England, we call it a freehold. What do you call it in America? If you own a building, but you rent it, you're the landlord and you own the freehold. In America, what is it called? Please, someone tell me. You guys over there in America, if you own a building, what is it called? What are you? Are you? What do you? We call it freehold. Do you call it real estate? Is that what you call it? Or I don't think anything is leased to EPE. Again, could be wrong. Cheryl, now I'm not trying to argue with you. The reason I bring this up is because we've read it. I'm going to read it to you again, but I just want to read that one sentence to you. The Elvis Presley Enterprise is a corporate entity created by Elvis Presley Trust to conduct business and manage its assets, including Graceland. Problem is you can't really focus it. It's in the blue writing. I wonder if we can angle it so that you can see it. Including Graceland. Now, the reason I've brought it up, I have actually messaged someone as well, just to double check it for me. So I'll get the original write-up. Let's have a look. Yes, right. Right. So Amy, so I'm live now. Now we're discussing it. We are discussing it. Right. Right. So Amy, I hope you don't mind we're talking about this. Amy Collette, who is the lady of Presley Mania, did the interview about Elvis's medical problems. Right. So, okay. I still need to learn more, but I've sent. Did I send her the document? Let me send. I'm going to send Amy the document. You know Amy, guys. She's the brilliant one that Presley Mania Rhonda did an interview with about Elvis's medical history and medical problems. I just want to get that document up and just forward it to her. Let's have a look. A bit interesting, guys. Actually, a bit interesting. Let's have a look. Oh, don't tell me I've got to go through all those details. Right, okay. Here it is. Here it is. We got it, guys. We got it. I'm going to forward it to Amy. Okay. Amy, if you are watching, I hope you don't mind. Right. So let's just jump over to Amy. Just say this says about this says it's these. We'll just it surprised me. And Amy is a member of our channel, guys. A member of Defending Elvis Presley. If you're new to Defending Elvis Presley, guys, welcome. This is Team Elvis. We're here to help each other learn about Elvis so we can defend Elvis Presley together. Anything that's being said about Elvis that is wrong or unfair, we're going to defend him. That's our job. That's our job. I think the wording is wonky. To manage the assets, including Graceland, but I do not believe that there is any type of ownership of Graceland. It's part of Graceland Plaza, which is operated in EPE. Okay, right. I understand that. I agree the wording isn't clear. So I will just say, so is Graceland Elvis home leased. I'll just ask her that. Right. Okay. Thanks, Rich Boy 66. That's very kind of you. Rich Boy, thank you. Richie Boy, so kind of you. Become a member. That's 2 members we've had today. Thank you so much, Richie Boy. Excellent. Anyone wants to be a member, guys, please join. It's really important to me. It really means a lot. So let's go back to this. Let's go back to this because I think it's important. I want to find the bit that said, and Cheryl, this will clear things up a little bit. So we've been reading the document, Cheryl, about from Robert Silliman when he took over, I think in 2005, when he bought Elvis Presley Enterprises. I think it went through Priscilla. Obviously, Lisa Marie had to agree. So Lisa Marie was heavily involved in the negotiating of the sale. From what we've learned is that Elvis Presley Enterprises was $25 million in debt. Now, that could have been a tax bill, but it definitely, $25 million of the sale, the purchase price for Bill Silliman was $112 million. Right, let's get to the figures. Let's have a look. So obviously Robert F.X. Silliman, he was a Wall Street operator. It says here a long history of minting money. I'm not sure what that means. Minting money, don't know. And he ran a massive radio group he sold for $389 million. But I just want to get the figures to you. I'll quickly repeat them. We've already said them. We did this on part 1. Let's get to it. There's so much to read, though. This is the problem. Let's try and get to the bit where they mention the figures. Right. The Silliman Elvis is an underexploited asset, like poorly managed textile company. This is what Bill says. Bill Silliman. Or Bob. Bill. Get it right, Louis. So the figures. Yeah. So there was on the first day of This is to do with the opening of the Memphis Mansion. Elvis' ex-wife Priscilla opened up Memphis Mansion's 3,024 fans went through it, and they paid $5 to go through it on the first day. Today, 600,000 visitors a day visit it. We know that, the massive success. But the bit I'm trying to see is the sale price. Right, here we go. Right, before I read that, I'll just double check Amy's reply. Let's have a look. So let's just get the right page. It says, here then are the terms. Oh, the thing is, I don't want to. No, actually, I don't want to wipe that off. Makes sense if you think about it, because they don't have legal document. Right, okay. I'm going to have to read Amy's replies because it's too important. So, yes, it has always been that way. The initial sale, they lease it for the tours. Cheryl? So, don't forget, Amy knows her stuff. Amy Collett. And she says, yes, it was leased. Definitely. I never knew that. I've learned something new just now. So this just goes to the extreme and the extent of the sale that Priscilla and Lisa Marie, because Lisa Marie personally met Bill Silliman to agree the terms of the sale. So when this was sold, I think it was 2005, could be wrong. They even, and this really surprises me. I'm quite disappointed, I'll be honest with you. I'm really surprised that they even sold the lease of Graceland. And I know that they still retain ownership. I understand that, of the land, of the museum. But, oh God, to rent Gracelands, to rent it. I know they've sort of rented it to Elvis Presley Enterprises, which to me is it's better than I don't know if it is though, because it's being sold to a company and it's just, I'm a bit gutted. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm a bit gutted because I know about leasing. I know about owning a building and letting and all that stuff, being a landlord. I never knew that. Seriously, guys, did any of you know that Graceland is rented, the building, Elvis's home, the museum as well, I expect, to Elvis Presley Enterprises? So Joel Weishanker not only owns Elvis Presley Enterprises and everything that entails, which we've just read. Elvis Presley Enterprises is a corporate entity created by Elvis Presley Trust to conduct business and manage its assets, including Graceland. Elvis Presley Enterprises extends far beyond Graceland operation and includes worldwide licensing of Elvis-related products and ventures, the development of Elvis-related music, film, television, stage production, and ongoing development of Elvis Presley Enterprise internet presence and the management of significant music publishing assets. Is there anything else going to say here? No, it just gives the history. It gives the opening of Graceland, Parker's dealings. No, we know about all of that. So I'm gutted, guys. Let's have a look at your comments. Yeah, Deborah. They had right here we are. Right, Amy's on. So if you want to ask Amy any questions, she's Elvis Girl 1977. That's Amy Collett. Amy, I tell you what, Amy, I'm gutted. I never thought. I knew that I know about the sale. We've got all the figures. $114 million. We know that 50 went to Lisa Marie. We know there was a $25 million debt to pay. We know 6.5 million went to Priscilla so they could use the Presley name. Yeah. And it even says that he didn't have to give it her. He gave it her to keep her on side. So to me, the 6.5 million, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes, the $6.5 million that Priscilla got way back then was a backhander. It was a backhander. It was so they could use the Presley name. So we know that she sold the Presley name. Don't forget, we've also got this issue where she sold the name, image, and likeness of Priscilla, the first word, the first name Priscilla, to Bridget Cruz. Bridget Cruz. She signed that away in her contracts. Obviously, we know that there's a lawsuit now and there's a counter lawsuit and it's complicated. But I tell you what, I am gutted that they leased Graceland to Elvis Presley Enterprises. I always thought that Priscilla and Lisa Marie fully owned Graceland. No matter what happened with 85% of Elvis Presley Enterprises, I always just assumed that Graceland was fully owned by Riley. I did know that there was a controlling interest from Elvis Presley Enterprises over Graceland. I knew that, the management. I knew that, but I never knew they leased it. And the bit I heard is 90 years, but you're saying it's 99 years. I'm a bit gutted. Right, let me just quickly read your comments. And we sort of stumbled on this by mistake. Right, let's go back on some of your comments. Amy, thanks for joining in on this because it's a bit out of my depth for me. Right, so let's have a look. They had to have a lease in place to allow them to do the tours. It protects everyone involved. Yeah, I understand that from a business point of view. And I know it's complicated, but how many people know this? I think I would say not, just me, I'm just Louis at home in my lounge. Yeah. But how many people know that Graceland, who have always assumed that Riley Q and before her Lisa Marie knew that it was leased to Elvis Presley Enterprises? We all know that they retain the building. They own the building. We know that. They're the landlords. But I never knew it was leased. How many knew that? I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. It definitely surprises me. And the other question, Amy, I'm not sure if you know this. Is there a rent? Is there a rental figure? I'd like to know what that figure is. Have you ever seen any accounts to show that? Let's have a look. Somebody needs to take care of Graceland, so why not Elvis Presley Enterprises? I understand that. But you know me, guys, I am very much bloodline. So the truth is to maintain the upkeep of Graceland, the building and the land around it, it's people, it's staff, it's management. So this is different. This has been completely outed to a company. I think there's quite a few companies that help run Elvis Presley Enterprises on behalf of Joel Weishanker, Jack Sodden, whatever. We've learned something new. So when the EPE sold off the 85%, they had to have the plan to place to keep access for tours. Right, okay. Amy, that makes sense. Right, so Lisa didn't get 50 million. So I am reading off. Let me just get it back up. It is just a press release. It does give a breakdown. Let's get it back up. I do remember. It may have been you, Amy, that told me. Didn't she have to pay half of that as a tax bill? Is that right? Right, let's just get up the details. Let's have a look. Where are we? Yeah, here we go. So let me just catch up on your comments. Let's have a look. It's hard because we are so emotionally tied to Elvis, but really he became a business in 1977 more than ever. It's hard to reconcile. Well, Silliman and Priscilla took Lisa's part and invested in a bunch of stuff that tanked. Yeah, like American Idol. But Amy, can I just ask you, did you know that he took a bit of a backhander, 6.5 million for the Presley name within the EPE deal way back in 2005? I just want to get to the figures. Let's get the figures. It does say the figures, but it's such a long write-up. I've got to find it. Yes, right, okay. That's just naughty, isn't it? It's naughty. She sells the Presley name that really isn't even her name because she took it back after giving it up. And then she sees an opportunity in the sale of Elvis Presley Enterprises, yeah, the 85% with Bill Silliman. And she thinks of a way of getting 6.5 million in her back pocket. Because even in this, it actually says Bill Silliman did not have to pay her the 6.5 million, but he decided he did want to keep her on side. It don't sound right to me. It sounds dodgy, in my opinion. In my opinion, I don't like that. And the truth is, the name wasn't even hers to sell. Not really. Not really. Right, let me just find the figures. I'm just trying to find the sale figures. Oh, I know, I took a picture of them. Right, okay. That makes life a bit easier. So let me just check the comments. I have been initial contract with Silliman and the sale, I'll have to pull it up. It just shows that you don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Yeah, I think this will surprise a lot of people. I really do. That is very true, Amy, right? So, well, Silliman and Priscilla took Lisa's part and invested in a bunch of stuff. Yeah, we know about it. It was American Idol and a few other things, wasn't it? And it, like Amy said, it tanked. It tanked. So Priscilla selling her name and image and likeness was a stupid move, and I think she was broke then. Yeah, so it sounds to me like a lot of money was squandered, but she's done it twice with the Bridget Cruz contracts that she signed. But we know that she couldn't sell the Presley name again. But the Priscilla name and the image and likeness, and I think Bridget Cruz was also involved in merchandising of the film Priscilla? You know, I don't know what the right word, but Bridget Cruz was somehow involved in the Priscilla film. Not the making of the film. I'm on about I'm trying to think of the right word, the imaging of the film. She actually said that to us here on our show, Bridget Cruz. So, right. So the deal was, this is what it says here, Amy. It says Silliman and Lisa, CKX paid $114 million for 85% interest in Elvis Presley Enterprises. Lisa retains 15%. We know this. Lisa received $50 million in cash plus $26 million in CKX common and preferred stock. So, Amy, how much do you think Lisa Marie actually got? Is it correct that she also received 26 million in CKX common and preferred stock? And then it says another 25 million from CKX went to pay off Elvis Presley Enterprises debt. And then you've got 6.5 million went to Priscilla Presley for use of the family name, even though Silliman wasn't legally obligated to pay Priscilla anything. But Priscilla and Elvis were divorced. So he didn't have to pay her for the Presley name because they had divorced. So then it says Elvis's estate went to Lisa. The payment will no doubt make it easier for Silliman to call Priscilla up and ask her to cut the ribbon. That's a backhander. That is a backhander. Anyway, let's just see what comments. Let's have a look. So there's not going to be anything left of Finley and Harper the way things are. True. We fans are paying Joel's rent. Yes, it seems that way. And here's the thing. How was EPE 25 million in debt? What the accounts let it get that far? It doesn't add up, as they all pay Lisa. And that is interesting. Now, is it because money was embezzled from, money was wasted and spent by whoever? I can't really name. We don't know what went on, do we? So that debt is very concerning. Even though I think it was way back in 2005, it sounds messy. It sounds like a mess. So then, no, Sandra, it's not Joel's rent. As part of the sale of EPE, Lisa leased Graceland for tours. So, I think what I think she means is this, that Elvis Presley Enterprises has leased Graceland for tours, but a lease generally will have a rent. Not always, because you can have a long lease, say like you said, 99-year lease, where you just cover all the maintenance stuff, yeah, and you pay a lump sum. So you've got two types of leases: the lump sum type lease that has loads of maintenance costs. You just pay a one-off lump sum, and then you have it for 100 years, like Amy says. Or you have a lease that is usually a shorter term with rent reviews, and it's 15, 25 years, and then the rent gets reviewed and the terms of the lease get reviewed. And then when you reach the end of the lease term, so say if it's 25 years, you renegotiate everything. So it's depending on the kind of lease that was sold. I would guess that it was a lump sum payment with no rent. I would guess that. Does that sound right, Amy? And I do understand that when you lease a property, there are many terms and conditions within the lease to keep it maintained. So it takes away the burden from the landlord to do it themselves. So I understand that it frees up the business, the tours. It frees that up for the leaseholder, and then the freeholder. In England, it's called freeholder. Does sleep better because everything's getting maintained and looked after while they're asleep. Well, I have properties that I rent, that are leased, and I know that as long as the tenant is looking after the property, that I don't have to worry about it. I wish it was that simple, man, because obviously you get plenty of breaches of leases, tenants breaching their conditions, which happens regularly. So it's happening to me at the moment. So doesn't someone have to live there to be rented? There is. So Tracy, hi guys, looks like an interesting topic. Yeah, we're talking about, we've realised that Graceland has been leased to Elvis Presley Enterprises. Elvis Presley Enterprises, 85% of it is completely controls Graceland. He doesn't own it. The ownership is still with Riley Q and obviously eventually Finley and Harper when they're old enough. But I was a bit taken aback because I never knew that. I always just thought, I did know that Elvis Presley Enterprises were controlling Graceland. I did know that because I read it a while ago. I didn't know they'd actually leased it. That was the bit that surprised me. It does sort of, when you add it all up in your mind, it does make sense that it's leased because it gets maintained. So then the freeholder has a bit of an easier ride, knowing that everything's being looked after by the company that's leased it, Elvis Presley Enterprises, 85% of it, yeah. So interesting. So many things she invested in, stupid businesses started and failed, and Priscilla is the reason. It was 25 million. Actually, do you know what, Amy? I just remembered something. Amy, if you're still there, they did the Memphis restaurant. And I actually, pure coincidence, I watched a video on this last night. And the Memphis restaurant they opened was a massive investment. And I think that created a lot of debt. Are we agreed there, Amy, that the restaurant that they opened in Memphis was a big part of the problem? Let me just get back on the comments. Let's have a look. Okay. So then we've got Amy and Google and says, or Lisa's debt. Right, okay. Priscilla is not a good businesswoman, hence why she's out and about earning nearly 80. Well, that's true, Tracy. That's definitely true. Perfume lines, right, so Amy's letting us know. Perfume lines, furniture lines, jewelry, kids' clothing, all Priscilla's businesses ideas. Who funded those? I bet the farm Lisa's trusted. Yes, I think that's probably correct, including Biss and Bo. Let's face it, even that needed a helping hand before it eventually went bust. And I noticed an interview lately interviewing Priscilla's partner, Biss, Olivia Biss. I don't know if many of you have seen that. I think it was on Those Elvis Girls. Those Elvis Girls were interviewing only recently, a few days ago, Olivia Biss, talking about the behind-the-scenes details when they set up the shop, when they expanded, I think, into Beverly Hills. So it was quite interesting. The second half of the interview was interesting. Let's have a look. Linda, I know what it says, but if you dig, like I have, you find, yeah. Then you're telling me that they can sell it at any time. Well, if they have a lease, yeah, I would say yes. Because even if it's lump sum, where it's a one-off payment with no rent, with just terms and conditions, it's still a legal document with value. It still will have a value. So I would say yes, Elvis Presley Enterprises could sell the lease of Graceland, but I think there'll be, I haven't read the lease, but there'll be hundreds and hundreds of conditions in that lease, including if it was to go up for sale. And it's actually, now I think about it, it has been sold. It has been sold because Joe Weishanker came along and stepped in, because I think Bill Silliman, or Bob Silliman, Bill Silliman, whatever, went bust. And I think when he was going bust, it was then sold to Joe Weishanker. So my guess is when he bought Elvis Presley Enterprises from Bill Silliman, who was facing bankruptcy, included in that deal was the lease of Graceland. Yeah, the lease of Graceland. So it already has been sold. So this is what Joe Weishanker has stepped in. He probably got a really good deal because Bill was going bust. Tell me if I'm saying things wrong, Amy, but because Bill was in trouble, I'm guessing Joe Weishanker got quite a good deal. So I don't know this. So it's a good question, Amy. It's a good question. Could Elvis Presley Enterprises sell the lease of Graceland? I know that Elvis Presley Enterprises are using other management companies. I think there's 3 or 4 management companies that are helping to run everything. So in theory, I would say they could sell Graceland's lease. I could be wrong. I'm just reading your comments. So as far as we know, it's either 90 or 99-year lease. What happened to the Silla makeup brand? Yeah, we don't know about that. Let's have a look. I'm sure Lisa's trust funded all her mother's money. Let's have a look. I've just managed to come up. Is Graceland being sold? Sue, no. We've worked out that when Elvis Presley Enterprises was set up, it also acquired the lease of Graceland, the building. So the building is owned by Riley Keough and the twins, eventually when they're older. But the lease, like Amy said, the Graceland tour is leased to Elvis Presley Enterprises. Obviously, that's 85%, which is Joe Weishanker. I'm not exactly sure what Jack Sodden's role is in all this? Isn't he more of a manager? But you tell me, guys. I'm not completely sure about Jack Sodom. Obviously, he's been around for a long time, hasn't he? We're learning as we go. We're learning as we go. Yeah, Richie boy, yeah. It's Richie. It's this. This comes first. Money, Elvis second. Money, Elvis second. This is the problem. So, yeah, lost millions in that too. God, that's what Amy says. So, well, this is all sad news and makes sure it does suck. Oh, my God, when did this all come out? I'll hush now. Do you know what, Sandra? It's all out there. It's public knowledge. But it didn't take much digging for me to read that news clip. And then I spotted the words Graceland leased. And then we went onto the Wikipedia write-up. And that said, let's see if it's still on here. And that also said, let's have a look. Here we go. And it also, look, it says the Elvis Presley Trust to conduct business and manage its assets, including Graceland. Yeah. And then it goes on to say Elvis Presley Enterprises business extends far beyond the Graceland operation and includes worldwide licensing of Elvis-related products and ventures, the development of Elvis-related music, film, video, television, and stage productions, the ongoing development of EPE's internet presence, and the management of significant music publishing assets. And there's probably a lot more than that. So I just stumbled on this. Oh, they leased it. They leased it. So Amy has cleared that up for us. But, God, I think I'm going to have her sign my copy of Child Bride. Let's have a look. Shh. Do you know what, Amy, we've got an issue with Child Bride because I've been doing some live streams lately on this Australian news thing where all these women are accusing Elvis of no, actually they didn't accuse him. I actually think these women were taken advantage of. They were all interviewed to give the impression that Elvis had a sweet spot for 14-year-old girls. But then Suzanne Finstad, sits on this interview. I don't know when it happened, but the clip I saw was 9 months ago on Australian TV, and says that Elvis Presley had a sweet spot for 14-year-old girls. Now, I'm not happy with that. I'm not happy with that. I wonder if I've still got it. And I just think Suzanne Finstad, who made all that money from the book Child Bride, and we are pleased that the book Child Bride has exposed another side to Priscilla, an alternative story, an alternative truth to Priscilla when she was very young, and this plan that she had to meet Elvis with Cary Grant and her parents, etc., and that she wasn't this sweet, innocent person that we all thought she was, that we were all brainwashed to believe, we were all spoon-fed lies to believe, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes. But then Suzanne Finstad is sat there on TV, on Australian TV, calling Elvis a paedophile. So I've got a problem with Suzanne Finstad now, accusing Elvis of having a sweet spot for 14-year-old girls, when we know damn well that Elvis has had dozens of girlfriends that were over 20, dozens. So that interview is so unfair and so wrong, and especially after, let me grab the book, especially after she made a small fortune writing this book. Do you get it? I just don't understand these people. Even Sally Hoddle has done this. They make loads of money, writing a book about Elvis that mentions Elvis, and then Sally Hoddle trashes the fans, basically says to us we're not allowed to have our opinions, and then you've got Child Bride, which many of the fans are very pleased. Suzanne Finstad even boasts that when she went to Elvis Week a few years ago, everyone was thanking her for this book. But then years later, she's calling Elvis a paedophile on worldwide news. What is your opinion of that, Amy? Yeah. So, sometimes we think this book has done us a favor, exposing more truths, but then the author calls him a paedophile on TV. It's just not right. Not right, guys. So, this is all opinions, but let me just keep reading the comments. It would be funny to see Priscilla sign your copy of Child Bride. That would be amusing. I've just managed to come on. Is Graceland right? Okay. So no, Graceland isn't being sold, but could it be sold? I think it's possible. Elvis girl, she will charge you $585. So Elvis girl is Amy Collette. She's the one that did the interview with Presley Mania with Rhonda about Elvis's health, and she's comparing the books, Sally Hoddle's Destined to Die Young, Dr. Forrest Tennant's book about Elvis's health, which I think Dr. Forrest Tennant's book is probably nearer the truth, just in my opinion. So Amy knows her stuff. She does a lot of research. You can guarantee that if Amy has a view on something, that it has been a lot of time has gone into getting that information. So you have to take it very seriously, which I definitely do. Yeah, I'm very grateful to Amy. Amy Collette, yeah? So let's have a look. Thank goodness Joel Washington seems to be a genuine Elvis fan. Probably the lease is for legal reasons. In the event of Riley and the girls wanted to sell Graceland, maybe there is a clause. Yes. Tracy, I know how smart you are, Tracy. I've worked that out. And you're probably right. There probably is a clause that they can't sell it. Not definite. We'd like to see the lease. Now, Amy, that is an ask. You get a copy of that lease. Now, you get a copy of that lease, and I will give you a gold medal. Yeah? Get a copy of that lease. I would love to read that. Do you think you could do it, Amy? I will just say this, Tracy, on Joel Weishanker. Now, I can tell Joel Weishanker seems nice. Seems to have his heart in the right place. We know how close he was to Lisa Marie. I think he was also close to Riley. But he is the head of a business. And money comes first. And sometimes it's not always easy to make the right decisions when money is at hand. Money is the factor. So as nice as he is not a Presley. He is not the bloodline of the Presleys. So I think he seems like a nice guy. I'd love to meet him. I've listened to many of his speeches. I can tell he loves Elvis. I can tell he loves Lisa Marie, and he cares about the legacy. I can tell that. But he's a businessman, and businessmen sometimes have to make tough decisions that aren't always in the best interest of Elvis. Sometimes, in my opinion. So it's not straightforward. I'm so glad I went to Graceland in 1960. This is Richie Boy, our new member. Hi, Richie. I went to Graceland in 1966 for my 30th birthday. It was amazing, and I will cherish the memories till the day I die. Brilliant. Thanks for sharing that. 1996. Sorry. 1996. For your 30th birthday. I wish I could have come. So we're learning a couple of things, Sue. Rewatch today's lives. Yeah, we did there is a part 1 to this. So let's just catch up with the messages. They make money. Let's have a look. So my personal opinion, the truth lies somewhere between both books. I don't believe either is 100% true. They make money but can't defend him. Yes, Amy, you couldn't put it better. These people are both making money, yeah? And it's okay to make money. It's okay. But don't then call him a paedophile. Don't then tell the Elvis fans that they're not allowed to defend Elvis. This is Sally Hoddle's mistake. We're told off for defending Elvis. We're called haters. The mistake of Suzanne Finstad. The fans are grateful. The fans give you money to buy your books. But then you call Elvis a paedophile, that he's got a sweet spot for 14-year-olds. Come on, Suzanne Finstad, what are you doing? You owe the fans. You owe Elvis. I'm sorry, I'm really disgusted that you did that. That you did that on a worldwide platform. You should just take it back. That whole interviewing all these poor old ladies. A lot of those ladies were in their 60s, maybe even 70s, and they never said one bad word against Elvis. I don't know how many of the people here watching this now watched that interview in Australia. It was also sort of repeated on Prime. Yeah, I don't know if you guys got Prime in America, right? These ladies were tricked. If you watch it, they are all praising Elvis. They are all saying what a perfect gentleman he was. That yes, they were fans. Elvis would kiss his fans. Not every single one of them said there was no sex. Every one of them said there was no sex. And I've still not heard one person from those days, the 50s, the 60s, say, I had sex underage. I had underage sex with Elvis. Not one. There's plenty of that have said, yes, I knew him. Of course, he was a rock and roll star. He had teenage fans. It's no different now. Even now in 2024, the teenagers are chasing the rock stars around, the pop stars. Just nothing's changed really. So I think that those women who are now much older, no offense to older people, I'm 57, many of you are in your 60s and 70s and 80s, maybe some of you are in your 90s. They were tricked into an interview that was turned into a nasty story to gain viewers on a news channel in Australia on Prime. It's not fair. It's not fair. And for Suzanne Finstad to be the spearhead of that, to sit there proudly calling Elvis a paedophile after she's made a fortune from that book, disgusts me. It disgusts me. Sorry, guys. That's how I feel. I'm actually quite upset about it. Right, and calling the book Child Bride. And come on, we don't like the name Child Bride. We like the fact that it exposes Priscilla true colours. That's what we like, in our opinions. Remember, when we discuss Priscilla, we're not being hateful. We are getting to the truth. We are defending Elvis. Fans want the truth. Defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. That's what we're here. This is why we're here. This is why Amy does all her research. Amy Collett does all her research because she just wants the truth. That she will dig and dig until she gets the truth. And that is what we're all about. That includes you guys and Team Elvis. Remember that. Right, there's a chart. I might have to go in a minute. Shh. Let's have a look. Yeah, so the kids are home, so I might have to go, guys. Right, okay. Right, I'm going to go. We're going to come back for another part. Amy, thank you so much for joining in and helping us get to the truth. Yeah? Amy Collett, you're a star. All of you guys, Team Elvis, thank you so much. You've been really great. You've been brilliant. We've had a brilliant live. We've done an hour. We've learned a lot of new things together. So defending Elvis Presley, fans want the truth. This is what we're all about. Team Elvis, taking care of business. Taking care of business. I'm going to repeat myself. Amy, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. You've been brilliant. All of you, great comments. I'll be back later. I'm going to try and do one more later. Take care, guys. All the best.